There you go, Will.
Hello. Hey, how's everybody doing? What's up, everybody? I love it. Man, there's nothing like being at a con.
Right.
Everybody here, awesome, and in the back, just a big dinosaur.
You can only find that here.
It's just the greatest thing in the world when you came out.
Right.
I hope you don't mind, but it's Sunday, and I like to switch things up, so I brought somebody with me. Can Christy Carlson come out here as well?
Look at that. Christy Carlson Romano,
I brought
everybody.
Christy with me. What's up? We got like chairs and stuff. Ooh, I got like a thing of water in here.
Hello. Real
like
panel chairs. These are awesome.
An airline table too, which is really cool.
Awesome. Hey.
Hey.
So I can ask you questions if you want.
You're asking me questions?
Maybe I can host the panel.
Oh,
No, we got you
jeez.
for that.
That's going to be scary, you asking me questions.
I
We've
know,
known
'cause
each other for a long
I know
time.
everything.
How's everybody doing? Yeah. Everybody had fun? This has been a ton of fun this weekend.
You know, both of our panels have been really well attended. We're so
Yeah.
happy to see you guys.
This is great. And again, sorry.
Oh,
I
hey.
Keep going to
What's
the
up,
dinosaur who
T-Rex?
now is trying to stand and has a cell phone, which is the greatest. It's a dinosaur with an iPhone, which is the best.
That's awesome.
We're just going to jump right to questions, I think,
Yes.
right?
Yes, for sure. And
What's
don't
up?
worry, this was originally a Will panel, so
It's
ask
more
him.
fun with the two of us. It
I'll
really
chime
is.
in.
As long as all the questions are for me and about me.
Yes.
And every time you talk, it's like, man, Will's amazing. Then we're good. Then I don't have a problem with that at all.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Hey guys, either of you can answer this, but I was wondering who has been the Feeny in your life that has guided you throughout your career and...
Feeny. I'm one of the few people that can actually say William Daniels, Mr. Feeny, was my Mr. Feeny. From an acting standpoint, there's two actually. From a on-camera standpoint, William Daniels, absolutely, and from a voiceover standpoint, Kevin Conroy, who played Batman. Those are my two real mentors in this industry. How about you?
Oh, I don't know. I think yesterday or Friday I said Donna Pascal, who played my mom in Even Stevens.
Yeah.
She's pretty amazing. I haven't worked with Tara Strong, really. I think in the
Okay.
same room, but
Okay.
like I'm definitely inspired
amazing. Tara's
in terms
awesome.
of voiceovers, like
Yeah.
women that can be, you know, the voice of a little boy and like
Yeah.
all these amazing voices. And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, when I feel limited in what I can do as a voice actor, I'm like, wait a minute. If Tara can figure out how to be that many people, I can at least find two more inside my
Yeah,
head.
Tara Strong, Gray Delisle, Kari Walgren. I mean, there's a handful of women that are just killing it.
I know. Super inspirational.
And they're they're great. They're great. And then remember, you have to finish every question with
And Will's amazing.
Will is amazing. Thank you.
thank you, thank you.
Okay, hold on. I'll just stand on my tiptoes. That's probably
Nice.
easier. So first of all, thank you. This is a huge bucket list moment for me. Like,
Really?
This is my childhood happening right now. And then you come out, and I'm like, oh, crap. Woo, can't take it. So I'm pretty sure all these questions are going to be about Batman or Boy Meets World or Kim
Okay.
Possible. So my question is actually about my date with the president's daughter. Which apparently you cannot find anymore unless you're on YouTube and watch it in 3 parts.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so
I think my mom has a copy,
if she could send that
but
to
you
all
need
of
a
us.
VCR.
And you need
I-
to
I
live in
still have
Connecticut.
one.
Okay, yeah, it's true. I think that's it. Yes, my date with the president's daughter is very hard to find. Actually, easier to find though than HE double hockey stick.
Also on YouTube.
It is on
came up
YouTube?
as
Okay.
my recommended viewing after I tried to watch my date with the president.
Okay, all right, fair,
So,
fair enough,
there
fair
you go,
enough. Okay,
everybody.
I like that.
So my question is, what is the most memorable or funniest thing that happened on set for that?
Oh, good question. Ooh, that's tough. I think
That's a new one. I haven't heard that question.
You know, I think shooting in front of the Lincoln Memorial, because it wasn't the Lincoln Memorial, it was a giant green screen with like fake legs behind us to look like it was a Lincoln Memorial. So that was very cool. And then again, we shot in Toronto. I got it confused because we did one in Toronto and one in Vancouver. We shot in Toronto, and in Toronto they had built like a perfect replica Oval Office and part of the White House to shoot in. So every time I was in there, it's like you're walking in, it's like, oh wow, it's like I'm really in the White House. And then there's Dabney Coleman who walks by, who I was a huge fan of growing up, and he's playing the president, and he was the nicest guy in the world. So stuff like that. Anytime it was like, I'm in the Oval Office, and then the movie set, you realize that half of it falls over, and it's like, okay, it's not actually the Oval Office. But things like that were really cool. That was one of those movies where we had no idea that it was going to be as popular as it became. It was just kind of, I mean, everything about it, where we'd hear things that the words together made sense, but you kind of then would go, like, when they came in and they went, oh, you know that band, the Presidents of the United States, they're going to do the opening theme song.
I love that song. That's a
right,
good
that's
song.
the thing. So we all went, oh, okay. Like, no big deal. And then everybody's like, that song, it's in, every time I think of it, it's in my head for a month. Like, oh my God. So, yeah, that was a ton of fun to shoot. And that was the last song that band ever did and all that kind of stuff. So everything, it kind of came together. And I think to this day, it's like the second or third most popular Wonderful World of Disney movie.
Next to Cadet Kelly.
Ever. No. That's not accurate. No, you were a DCOM. This was Wonderful World of Disney.
Nope, they actually made it Wonderful World of Disney.
Did they really?
They did, because Hillary and I were in it or something. I don't know.
Oh,
But
okay,
they
yeah,
did it.
because they tried to re-bring those back.
So then
during
you're
that
right.
time.
It probably was one of the more. I'm sorry.
No, no. I think Cadet Kelly was
one of the DCOMs.
was
but they did
arguably
show
the
it.
most popular DCOM, isn't it? Or
Okay.
up there? Like
Probably.
it's like,
Well, probably High School Musical and.
oh yeah, that's
all
a
those,
DCOM too,
but-
right?
But let's just say.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Thanks.
But yes, it was
Also
wonderful.
amazing.
We had a yes. No, we had a good time doing it. And High School Musical is true to life, because I know in my high school it was just people singing and dancing and having fun. But thank you very much. Yeah. My date, yes.
With the president's
daughter, yeah.
My date.
Hey, so Boy Meets World. On Boy Meets World, they kind of touched on some like drug, alcohol issues. Girl Meets World kind of touched on some political issues.
Sure.
Are there any other issues or storylines that you wish Boy Meets World would have like pursued?
That's a really good
Great
question.
questions.
I feel like they hit on a lot of them, actually. You know, even before they became national news or popular or important, like bullying. I mean, we did episodes about bullying. Poor Sean. Anytime anything happened, it was always Sean. He was an alcoholic for like
Ryder,
20
right?
minutes. Yeah, Ryder.
Yeah.
He was involved in domestic abuse at one point. He pushed a girl. He joined a cult for some reason. So poor Ryder, just every time.
There were so many hair flips. The more
The hair,
troubled he was, the
had
more
the
hair
90s
flips
hair flip.
came.
He hated his hair. I remember that. He hated his hair. That was a big secret that has
He
since
actually
come out.
didn't.
Oh, he hated
Ryder
it.
hated that hair.
Hated it
And they
because-
wouldn't let him cut it or something?
They wouldn't let him cut it. Well, they wouldn't let any of us cut it. We always have to check if we were going to cut our hair. But Ryder also had naturally curly hair, so
Yeah.
they had to straighten it every day.
Oh.
So the thing that was funny was like Danielle Fishel, this long, beautiful hair, in and out of makeup, 20 minutes. 50 minutes for me getting my hair done. Ryder was like an hour and 20 minutes. I mean,
Wow.
we were the hair show.
That's hilarious. I didn't know that.
But so to get back to the question, sorry.
Do an
Will's
episode
amazing.
just on the hair.
No, I felt like one of the things that Michael Jacobs and the writers did was they really touched on a lot of important topics early. I mean, Michael would always tell us the fastest way to lose an audience of kids is to talk down to them. He said, you never talk down to kids, just talk to kids. So we never did a quote-unquote very special episode. We never had any of those. Yeah. We just did episodes that touched on certain things. And then towards the end, it really became two shows. It was Corey Topanga and Sean had the important thing, gravitas happening in their life. And then it was like, dance, Eric! So that was kind of what it became at the end. But no, to be honest with you, I think we hit most of them. I mean, again, if we're doing it, we were doing the show now. I mean, this was the early '90s, so this was pre like school violence and things like that. I mean, at least that made huge national news. So I think knowing Michael, he would have touched on some of that stuff more. You have to keep in mind, Girl Meets World was Disney Channel, so you're limited in what you're allowed to kind of do.
It's a younger audience.
It is a much younger audience.
Yeah,
and,
so you have to be really more particular about
ABC let us have a little more free reign. Also, we were never a popular show. People don't know that, but Boy Meets World, when it was on TGIF, all the press was about Sabrina and Family Matters. We were just kind of the show that kept going. we always said we were the kid version of Wings. Do you remember that show? Because Wings, what people don't realize, Wings was on for 137 years. Like, Wings was a show that was, and everyone goes, I don't remember that show. National primetime show. It was on, I think, 8 or 9 years. We were Wings. Like, we just kept going, but kind of under the radar. So we were able to get away with a lot more stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, Eric Matthews for president 2020.
Yes.
Yeah.
He would not know when the election was, unfortunately.
Hi, I just wanted to say that me and my sister, we used to watch Disney Channel all the time. Saw Cadet Kelly. I do have My Day with the President's Daughter on VHS.
Oh, so you go to her
Where
house.
is she? She's over here. Somebody else needed a copy. She's back there.
I just wanted to ask, how do you feel about Kim Possible with the movie they made last year?
Made a movie?
They did. I'm in it for
I'm
a second.
kidding.
For 20 seconds.
How do you feel that kids today are still watching that show? They're still being influenced.
I love it.
that one, yeah.
Sure. I love it when the younger kids are coming up to our tables and they're like, yeah, I found it on my own. It's not even that their parents necessarily, even though their parents might have seen it or known about it, it's the kids that are really watching it in the reruns as a cartoon. So regardless of how the movie's done or whatever, I mean, like, it's just the property itself. The character is still living and growing and sort of breathing. And it's just really nice that you guys it just seems to get more and more popular over the years. Yeah. So yeah, it's really awesome. For me, I think it was awesome.
And Christy's amazing.
It's a good question.
I am one of those people where I believe that Kim Possible, one of the reasons that Kim Possible keeps growing and has sustained and is, like a lot of the Disney Channel shows and things that sustain, are, a lot of the reasons that we're all here is good storytelling. Anytime you have good storytelling, it lasts. So, I see people, I geek out, and when I was walking by, it was like the entire cast of G.I. Joe is here, like all the voiceover actors. And I had a long conversation yesterday with the man who does the voice of Destro. And in my head, I was just going, it's Destro, it's Destro. And it's sustained not only because I was a kid, but because you go back and watch it, and it's still good. Mm-hmm. So I think good TV, good storytelling, I think it lasts. And I think that's one of the reasons why I can jump from generation to generation. Because you watch a Kim Possible now with your kids, and it brings you right back to childhood, but they get out of it what you got out of it when you were younger. That doesn't happen with every show. Mm-hmm. So I think we were really lucky in that respect.
Definitely, and that's a testament to Bob and Mark just being
definitely
so creative.
Who are incredible writers, and some of the great freelance writers we had working on the show as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the direction.
And the
Lisa.
direction, and Lisa Schaefer, who was our director. I mean, the casting was
she had
great,
to rein him in. I mean, he's just so hard to work with. Oh, so big.
I'm awful. But no, we just had a blast, and it shows, and that's why I think that it lasted. I think you get that with Boy Meets World, and even Stevens too, where if you're having fun doing it, and you can see that you're having fun doing it, I think it makes it last longer. Frankly, you can tell when it's like, oh, those actors don't like each other.
Yeah,
you can really see when there's not that chemistry, and then you just want, for Rose not to share the door. Who else got that reference?
I didn't.
So there we go. You didn't?
Rose
not sharing the door. Jack could have fit on the door with Rose.
Oh yeah, what the heck with that?
Easily.
You're
But
totally
the chemistry,
right.
so you're like, yeah, Jack can drown. It's all right. But yeah, move over. Let him on the door. It's a huge freaking door.
It was that
Forget
aerial
it. I'm not
shot.
even
Yeah,
gonna,
I gave it away.
I'm not going to get into it. No, take the whole door, Rose. Not a problem.
They did make like a really half-butted attempt at trying to
Oh, yeah,
fly.
here, let me-
He,
Oh,
no,
sorry.
No.
Thanks for helping. That helped. She helped not at all.
At all.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, what's going on?
How are
Hey,
you?
what's going on?
Hey, I can't talk to you unless I'm drunk, so.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Is that? Would you say you can't talk to us unless you've been drinking?
Yeah.
You can have some water
Well,
after
actually
that.
drunk.
You drink and then you have water.
Oh, okay.
Then you can drink again and have water. I'm a mom, so this is how I
Okay, that's cool.
how I think.
That's cool. But we were at your panel the other day and we left early, like I said, because we were at the wrong Q&A.
Okay.
Right.
We meant to be at this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And my question is, I
I'm
asked it
still
the other
here
day.
though. Sorry.
My question is, I had it the other day, and we're gonna do it today, man. This is an order. This is an order.
I know he wants.
We will sing the Kim Possible theme song.
Will you?
So
Okay.
this is what happens. Does anybody know the Kim Possible theme song here? We got one.
Yeah, well, we got one. Come on.
All right.
There we go. Let's have. This is good. We'll have somebody else sing the King, and then everybody can join in if they'd like.
Yes.
I'm ready for this. I'm a theater major. I got this.
All right, go ahead. Yes.
This.
Hey, come on.
Yes.
Get
If you know
this.
the words, sing along.
Yeah, sing along.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm your basic average girl, and I'm here to save the world. You can't stop me 'cause I'm Kim Possible. There is nothing I can't do when you're in danger of something more than I am on my way. It doesn't matter where or when there's trouble. If you just call my name, Kim Possible. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. When you want to page me, it's okay. Whenever you need me, baby, call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter when. I will be there for you till the very end. Oh, danger or trouble, I'm there on the double. You know that you always can call Kim Possible. Boop, boop, boop. So what's the sitch? Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
Wow. Yes. Yes. Oh my God. Now do the theme from Happy Days. That's
I got
awesome.
tempt me.
chills. That was so
There
cool.
you go.
Don't tempt me, man. I'll do that.
No, that was the best.
Was that your question?
Find me at Forget Me Not Game on Twitter and YouTube. Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That is awesome. I'm going to her panel next.
Well, that went over very
Hey,
well.
She's got the pipes now.
Yeah, no, that was great. Yes.
I ain't even got a singing voice, man.
No, that was done. Yes.
Thank you. That was so
Oh,
fun.
I just want to start throwing songs at her now.
So cool.
Well, that's hard to follow.
Yeah.
No, you got this. You got this.
Okay, so this is a question for Will. You talked a little at the panel on Friday about your experiences writing for some of the shows that you've worked on. So I was just kind of wondering how you got started writing for shows.
I get to talk about this. Technically, not even technically, actually, the first screenplay I sold, I was 19. I'm still, I think, the youngest freelance writer in the history of Disney.
Wow.
And I wrote the live-action animation Christopher Robin movie that just came out.
Wow.
You guys can clap, but it doesn't say it's me when you actually watch the movie. I sold that in 1998. It went through so many different iterations that by the time it finally came out, it was said it was written by other people. And the Writers Guild went, we know you wrote it, but we can't do anything about that. So that was, so the one you saw was not the one I wrote. I actually originally wrote it for myself. Christopher Robin was in college. I was going to play Christopher Robin. He wakes up after a fraternity party and there's Winnie and Tigger at the foot of his bed. Much better version of the film. Then I stopped writing. I come from a writing family. My mom has written 3 novels, and so I had stopped, and I'm a huge fantasy nerd. I love fantasy books. I just absorb them as much as I can, and I started a new show called Thundercats, and Thundercats had a very Arthurian legend kind of feel to it. And so I went up to the head writer, Michael Jelinek, and I said, I'd like to write an episode. And I'm playing Lion-O, so he couldn't really say no. He went, okay. I'm like, I've got to let the actor try to write an episode. But then he saw where I was going with the fantasy aspect. The story gets better. Hang on. And so he saw where I was going. I wrote the episode. He loved it. And then I started to write a lot more. And then he asked me to become the main writer, the only staff writer for season 2. I wrote the first 2 or 3 episodes, and the show got canceled before we ever had a chance.
Oh.
But then he went off to do another show called Teen Titans Go, and he brought me onto that. So I've written several episodes of Teen Titans Go. And then I wrote for Transformers and Girl Meets World and a bunch of other different kind of stuff to do. So
proud of him.
I love finishing a script, but actually writing a script is just awful.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to write these? I mean, you're under deadline, right?
Depends. Yeah, usually you're under deadline. So, a few weeks. Depends on what you do. But
How does it work? So do you write a spec script? Like that's something that you write?
No, you normally go sit down with the producers. They'll tell you, if you're not on staff, it's very difficult because they usually have the entire season arced out already. So
Yeah.
they know, and they'll come up to you and go, hey, we're writing season 2 or episode 2 right now. Can you write episode 20? and you kind of go, okay, well, where's everybody going to be? What's going on? So you start with a beat sheet, which is literally just you write one, Lionel walks in the room, and you beat it out, just every beat of the thing you can think of. And then they'll say, we like these beats, we don't like these beats, cut this part out, put this part in, and then you go to outline. So then you'll take your beat sheet and you'll expand it to an outline phase. And then when you go to outline, and then you go to usually a second outline, sometimes a third, and then you write the script. And by that point,
you're getting notes every time.
And you're getting notes the entire
submitting
time.
Your outline.
And by that point, you so know the story that the actual writing of the script is now pretty cake, because you've done 19 different versions of it.
And you know how they speak. Like you
well,
know
that
how
helps.
the characters speak
That
because you're a
helps
fan
is,
of the show.
being fans and sitting in the room with all the people or writing for yourself. I mean, a lot of times when I was writing for Thundercats or something, it was like, I heard Lion-O in my head, obviously, so I had the little action figures in my room as I'm writing it out.
That's not standard.
It can be. It can be. I have one guy who's a friend of mine who's a very big writer who writes with hand puppets. He literally does the voices.
I'm married
back
to
and
a writer,
forth.
so this is making a lot of sense.
Yeah. We're crazy people.
You're crazy people.
The writing process is very interesting. It can be very difficult. It can be extraordinarily frustrating. But there is no satisfaction like having a television show come on and having it say written by Will Friedle. It's a very cool feeling. Or sitting the first one I ever did with Thundercats, when I sat in the room with all the actors and they're all reading my words, and I was like, it was 3:00 in the morning when I wrote that scene, and now I'm hearing all these incredible people saying the stuff that I wrote. That was a trip. It was really, really cool. So it's very fulfilling and very horrifying. Unfortunately, I love it.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you so much.
Now we know that Boy Meets World and Girl Meets World, they did a lot of life lessons. Mm-hmm. What was the biggest life lesson, either on screen or off screen, that you took away from the show?
That's pretty easy because it happened on screen and on the show, but it also happened backstage, which is you don't have to be blood to be family. So that was what Mr. Feeney told Ryder and told Sean, and that's how we were. I mean, we none of us are related, and we are still a family. So that's one that, family, as I'm sure a lot of people in this room know, families come in all shapes and sizes. And sometimes the people you're related to, you don't consider family, and people that you are friends, you do consider family. So family's an interesting thing. It's a living, breathing entity. And that's probably the biggest lesson that I took. And don't steal Bill Daniels' parking spot. Two very important lessons from doing Boy and Girl Meets
Danielle
World.
Fishel also was saying how she feels like Sabrina is like her daughter too.
Yeah, they have that relationship. Yeah,
so there's
happens.
definitely,
yeah.
it happens.
It absolutely happens like that.
What a nice place to work.
It was a wonderful place to work. It was amazing. Michael Jacobs he would do things that you hear and you go, wait a second, that might not be healthy, and then you go, oh, that's the healthiest thing in the world. Like Michael Jacobs was the creator and executive producer of Boy and Girl Meets World, and he would come to the set at random times and call us all together and go, I just want you guys to know, look around, all of this ends. He'd want us to know that this is not going to last forever. This is a finite moment in time, so enjoy it while it's here. And pulling a bunch of actors together as kids and going, this is going to end. Some people go, wow, that seems cruel. It wasn't. It was an incredible thing to know, because you don't fall into that. I mean, you don't read about us on TMZ. We're not, we haven't fallen off the deep end, and it's because we were he made sure we were grounded. We were all
from the top down.
From the top down. You are not, it might seem special. The job you have is special, but you're just actors doing a job. You are not all of a sudden the coolest people in the world.
Yeah.
You need to know that, because it's important. I mean, you've dealt with stuff like that too. You do it with some actors where on the fourth day you're working with them, they have attitudes, and it's like, are you really?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Usually they come in with it too.
Yeah, that's true.
And people
it's
talk about
sad.
that.
Yeah, it's
and,
pretty sad. So we were lucky in that we had none of that. We genuinely get along, but yeah, that's why they're still family. Thank you.
Sorry, my legs asleep after squatting. First, I want to say thanks for coming. It's awesome to see you guys live.
Thank
Great
you.
Surprise that you came up, Christy.
Yeah.
Since you're here, I do want to say
Yeah. Christy Carlson. Yes. And one quickly for the dinosaur in the back. Yes.
But since you're there, Christy, I do want to say I loved Even Stevens and Kim Possible.
Oh, thanks.
But my major question is for Will.
Yeah, no, go for it.
So I'm going to look at my notes because I'm nervous. Well, I'm rewatching Boy Meets World. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. Of course, you're not the main character, but when I'm rewatching it, I'm really enjoying yours and Feeney's relationship.
Oh, thank you.
Because it just, I don't know, it
You
just.
guys need to do a spin-off where it's like the Odd Couple with like you and Feeney.
Nice.
Everybody loves you guys so much.
I think that'd be fun.
It'd be amazing.
I would watch that. So along with that, can you do the Feeney call?
Oh yeah.
I can't. I'm sorry. I think I've told this story before. I gave it to the girls on Girl Meets World. So I passed the torch to them officially. They had to do it once. I went and shared it with them, did it in front of the audience one last time, and then said it's now yours. So you have to get them to do it for you.
Well, are they the next surprise guest?
Yeah, right. Seriously. And now the entire cast of Girl Meets World. No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Best panel ever.
Hey guys, hey Christy, I love Even Stevens. Wish it was on DVD.
Yeah, me too.
Is it not on DVD?
I think. No, I don't know.
Does that
It's
one girl
not.
have a
I've been-
VHS?
Yeah, no.
I've been looking everywhere for it, but I can't find it.
Yeah.
But loved you and Even Stevens.
Thank you, honey.
Boy Meets World is fantastic. One of my favorite shows of all time.
Thank you.
What is your most memorable moment from Boy Meets World?
Oh, good question. The most memorable moment, I mean, the one that instantly comes to mind when somebody asks that question is the last scene that we shot. Because we only did that once. We couldn't get through it again. And it was us saying goodbye to Mr. Feeney and the audience at the same time. So that's the first one that pops into my head. It's a sad moment for us, but it was pretty great. But the one, the episode I remember shooting the most was, we called it the Scream episode. It was the Halloween episode.
Great episode.
Because we didn't have an audience, and we were just trying to make each other laugh the entire time. And we succeeded. We just were breaking up in every episode. So that coupled with, there's that, being stuck in the couch.
That was great.
That episode, because we couldn't get through that scene, and we just kept laughing to the point where we never shot it. So they literally, and I have one quick note, because people will send me the clip online. I don't know if you've seen this, where Eric is literally stuck in a couch, and we just keep laughing the entire time.
I think we actually ripped off that.
Did you?
Because Shia was stuck in a bed at one point.
Yeah, you stole that from us.
Yeah, we totally stole that.
Yeah. And we couldn't finish the scene, but people often send, like when they send it, they'll say, look how mad Trina looks. And Trina played Angela. And very quickly, she told us before we ever started the scene, hey guys, I have a flight in like an hour and a half. So if we can do this really quickly, that would be awesome. And we're like, of course, it's like a page and a half long. You kidding? You'll be in the lounge. And then we couldn't get through it. So she was a trooper for like the first 58 takes. And then it was like, dude, I told you I have to go. So no hate on her. Everyone's like, she doesn't look like she's having fun. She was having a blast. We were making her really late for a flight. So our fault, not hers. But that, and then Plays with Squirrels was probably the other one.
He was fantastic.
Yeah, which that was 5 minutes on a 7-year show. So we had no idea that was going to matter as much as it did. And then Plays with Squirrels became this huge thing. So it was great. Yeah. Thank you.
You guys are great.
Thank you very much.
I've seen a lot of, I thought it was plays with squirrels, but I think they're Bruce Almighty's like walking around or something.
With the staff in the book? No, that's Plays with Squirrels.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
That
Have
is.
they come to your table?
Yeah, a couple
Okay.
people came to my table.
All right. I was like, dang, he's really popular.
He's got the lollipop in the beard. There was one guy I went up to. I went, "That's an amazing cosplay. You're Jesus." Oh. And he had a thing. I'm Jesus, and I was like, "Sorry, I was about to go
Pretty
like,
clear.
where's the lollipop in the beard? Oh, you're the Son of God. Sorry, that's."
So
That's a
basically what
totally
you're
different
saying
thing.
is
My
you
bad,
think
but
you're
it was a good cosplay nonetheless, but a totally different way he was going with it. So, yeah.
Hi. I was wondering, since you do a lot of like writing stuff, I was wondering who made the Feeney call? Who was the one that made the Feeney call?
The Feeney call actually started with it literally just said Eric walks to the fence, and it said Eric, and the line was just Mr. Feeney, ! That was the whole line. But I like to be on camera for as long as I possibly can. So Mr. Feeney started yelling Mr. Feeney, then started yelling it multiple times. Then I realized, not only are people laughing, but they're keeping the camera on me. So then it got longer and longer and longer and longer. And by the end, I think the last one was like 38 minutes long. There's one on YouTube where I'm just, doing there's a cat
We need a
screech for some
montage.
reason, yeah. And that's where it got crazy. So then the scripts at the end would say the Feeney call. So it was just, it started with just a line that then I took off.
So you wrote it. He wrote it.
Well, I mean, I came up with stretching it. I came up with milking it, but they really they had written all that stuff. So yeah, we would always do several takes. We'd do the take the way exactly it was written, and then we do it usually again exactly what was written, and then they'd kind of let me do a take where it was like, all right, do it kind of whatever you want, and I'd play. And sometimes that was in there, and sometimes it wasn't. But that was a lot of fun. But they had me standing at the fence saying, "Mr. Feeney, I'm the one who made it long and ridiculous."
Thank you.
Thank you. We met yesterday.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
You want to pet him again?
Of course, I'll get there. Yeah.
The question I had was, what situation was improvised that you remember the most that made the cut?
There's a couple. There's an episode where Eric and Jack are both vying for Rachel's attention, and Eric becomes like a poet. And Jack then is in a clown suit at the end, and he's riding this little tricycle. And it ends with Eric going like, "Next time ask before you borrow my bike," and taking the bike. I ad-libbed all that. So all that was just put in at the end. And then there's a scene where Eric is talking to himself as another guy who owns a hotel. And I did this voice like, "Hello, Mr. Pateman," and that I made up that none of that was scripted. So that was just, they went, just do whatever you want to do. And so all that was made up. And then there's just kind of little moments here or there where I would add kind of my little take on it. But yeah, they were good with that, with kind of letting me go and do my thing. It was fun.
Were you doing voiceovers during filming?
Yeah. But I was doing, not Kim Possible, I was doing
Right.
Batman Beyond during Boy Meets World.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, because
and before that,
there
was there
was
lots
no,
of other
Batman
things?
Beyond was my first show ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this is the thing that most people don't believe, but it's absolutely true. So we filmed Boy Meets World on Thursday nights, and I recorded Batman Beyonds on Thursday morning. So the very last episode of Batman Beyond recorded the same day the last episode of Boy Meets World filmed.
Yeah.
So I ended Batman and Boy Meets World on the same Thursday.
Oh my gosh.
That was a tough Thursday.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. That was. I mean, again, with voiceover, you finish recording and then you have literally years of what's called ADR afterwards. So it's like, you go and you record an episode, and we're doing Kim Possible, and Kim and Ron are standing next to each other, and they're having a totally, "Hey, Kim, what's going on? I'm wondering what we're doing." And then all of a sudden, they animate it, and you're standing on two opposite sides of cliffs. So you've got to go back and redo it. So you dub it in for the ADR session, where it's like, oh, we've got to reanimate the entire thing.
Right.
Or what we call oofs and ugs. So there's big fight scene, and then they'll animate it, so you have to sit there and watch a screen and go like, that kind, that kind of stuff. So you'll do that 9 months or 10 months after you record the episode. So I got to go back and do more Batman Beyonds, but the actual recording ended the same day that I finished Boy Meets World. So
yeah, you're like, I can see that I need employment.
Yeah, exactly. Had a drink that night.
Yeah, I bet.
That was a tough Thursday. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys.
Hello.
It's awesome to meet you both.
Thank you.
My
I
question
crashed, kind of. So.
I love that, though.
I totally crashed.
I don't know what the next panel is here, but I'm staying.
Yeah. These have been great.
Just going to keep answering
Pay
questions.
it forward.
My question's for Mr. Friedle.
Yes.
So the Batman Beyond, it's kind of like the last 15 years or so since the show ended, has lived
20.
on. 20? Has it really been that long?
Yeah. We just had our 20th anniversary.
Really?
Yeah.
Does that mean we're going to get a 20th anniversary movie?
Well, you get the 20th anniversary box set is coming out.
That's right.
Digitally remastered on Blu-ray with a whole bunch of new stuff. And Bruce Timm, we were at Comic-Con last weekend, and Bruce Timm said to the audience, if this box set sells really well, there's a good chance there'll be more Batman Beyond stuff in the future. So go and get the box set, because I want to be able to tell people I'm Batman and not be lying.
That's right.
That's how I got my wife. So I need to be able to tell people that. So
So is there? Have you kept up with the comics at all? Is there any comic book storylines that, because Batman Beyond had just an insane amount of stories that have been really cool.
Yeah.
Is there any storylines that you'd like to see adapted to the screen?
I don't want to see the one where Terry dies. That was tough.
That's fair.
I love the fact that the character was so important that they brought him back, though. I thought that was really cool. No, I just want to play again. I want to sit next to Kevin Conroy, and I want to hear, him go, Terry. I just want to hear that again. So I don't care what they do. I'm happy. Actually, I'm friends with one of the comic book writers who's here, Kyle Higgins, and Kyle did a whole big run on the show, and then Adam Beechin did a whole big run on the comics as well, and Adam Beechin also wrote for the Transformers world for years and years and years. So there's some great people here that were responsible for a lot of the Batman Beyond stories. So I'll do whatever. So it's one of the characters where you meet a lot of people like, would you go back to that character? And I go, yeah, that'd be fun. Terry and Batman. I was like, yes, I would definitely love to play Terry again. It'd be great. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello. I hope y'all can hear me. I won't reach the mic, but I project. I used to teach, so I think.
Nice. Yeah, you have a teacher's voice. You can tell.
Well, thank you. I was going to hit off of that in my question, and thank you for being here, Christy, as well. My daughter and wife are sitting in the back, and we watch Boy Meets World together. I want you to know.
Oh, thank you.
And my question is two parts. Number one, when you said you were grounded when you were doing this by the writer who was in the show, did you ever think that you would have an impact not just on the generations like myself, but even those after when you were making it? And number two, as a former teacher who has spoken to people's lives, what's the best piece of advice William Daniels, a.k.a. Mr. Feeney, ever gave you?
Oh, wow. Two good questions. No, we had no idea that the show was going to matter, that people were going to care as much about it as they have. You can never know.
Nostalgia's like a new thing.
Well, that's my wife calls it nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
But it is, but it's also, so very quickly speaking of the nostalgia thing.
Sure.
No matter what you believe in this country, anything you want to believe in this country, we are horribly divided right now. And it seems like everybody's looking for reasons to be different from everybody else, which I don't understand. And I think something like what you grew up with brings you right back to the time when none of that mattered, when it was safe and happy and you lived in a place where everything was comfortable. At least it seemed that way. Right. And it brings you back to your childhood. And that's something I think Boy Meets World, even Stevens, all that stuff, I think that's what it does. And that's why nostalgia, I think, is so important, is because you go right back to that kind of moment in your childhood. So
I wish there was a YouTube show that you could subscribe to where like people like Will and me would like get on that and make the naco and then put a recipe underneath it. Oh wait, there is.
She has one of those.
Oh yeah. It's
That's
called Christy's Kitchen Throwback. I'm
there
good.
you
I'm
go.
leaving now. Okay, bye. That's fine.
But it's true. That's what's so important, is it brings you right back to that kind of feeling. But at the time, we had no idea. I mean, we were so happy to be with each other and so happy to be working that's all that mattered to us. And it wasn't until really the second or third, because when Boy Meets World was on ABC, we could all go everywhere, very rarely got recognized. It was no kind of big deal. And then they put it on, I think Disney Channel was next. And the second run on Disney Channel, and then I think they brought it to ABC Family. By the third run, then it was everywhere. And we had no idea that was going to happen. So no, we didn't know we were going to be an impact on anybody's lives. We love that we have, and we love that the show is written so well that it's always a positive impact, which is
That's
phenomenal.
What I was talking about. Like, were you cognizant?
No, no idea. But we knew that what we were doing was talking to kids, and we knew that was important. And we knew that our audience was growing up with us. We thought we had a very core fandom that hadn't really expanded yet. So that core fandom that grew up with us. I mean, we had several people, including one entire family, that came to every single taping of the show. We called them, to their faces, they love them, they're wonderful people. We called them the Stalker family. They were there to the point where they're actually sitting on Topanga's side in the wedding episode.
Oh, wow.
We put them in the show because they came they weren't there the first season, but 6 years they were in every single taping. And then came to the Girl Meets World one. So we had a very core group of fans, and to them, we knew we were speaking to them, but to everybody else, we had no idea. The best advice Bill Daniels ever gave, that's a good question. You know, the piece of advice that I heard him give that I loved was somebody stood up and said, I want to be an actor, what do I do? How do I become an actor? And he said, if you want to be an actor, always act. And I thought that was interesting. What he expanded on saying was, he's like, if you can't get a job and there's a family reunion, use it as a stage. If you walk into a living room and your parents are there, use it as a stage. It's like an actor takes every opportunity to act. So I think that kind of stuck with me quite a bit. That, and again, don't take my parking space. Those are the two that stuck with me more than anything else. But yeah, no, that was because, again, Mr. Feeney was one character, and he gave you the dream try, do good. But William Daniels never treated us like children. We were just actors. It didn't matter that you were 10 or 11. You're just an actor. So that's how he treated us. And it was, you couldn't have asked for a better mentor. So it was all the little things. And then he always taught by example. That's how William Daniels is. He's there. If his call time is 7 o'clock, he's there at 6. He knew his line every time. He hit his mark every time. Great guy.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So much.
Hi.
Hello.
So my question is, I noticed nobody asked you about Cash yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Brother
so,
Cash from Critical Role.
Yeah, I wanted to know.
Yes. Yes.
It's like a really quick two-parter. The first part is that, like, when you went to the show as a one-off character, like, how did it feel? I mean, the entire community wanting to bring you back like so often, and then
awesome.
Who do you think would win in a fight, Cash or Plays with Squirrels?
Okay, so first part, yeah, no. The first time I ever, for anybody who doesn't know, so I recur on a show called Critical Role, which is a bunch of nerdy voiceover actors get together and play Dungeons and Dragons, and it's become very, very popular. It's awesome. So the first time I'd ever played Dungeons and Dragons was on Critical Role. So Matt Mercer's my first DM ever. He had come to my house. We built my character. It took like 7 hours. I wrote the entire backstory. I was having so much fun, and I figured I'd go on, I'd play once, and that's kind of it. But I had so much fun, and people loved the character so much that I kept going back. And I never, ever, ever get to play the jerk. So Cash is just, pardon the language, but just an ass. And it's so much fun to play. So that was huge for me. So no, I had no idea that they were going to keep bringing him back. And I think in actual fight, Cash would win. But in D&D, I think Plays with Squirrels would roll better, frankly. I think he'd have the better luck. He'd be natural 20s all the time just going, I told you. So, yeah, it was cool. Thank you. I just really quickly, because she's sitting in here, I have a question for Christy, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
What was it like to work with me?
Are you serious?
Oh, of course not.
Okay.
You can tell me when no one's watching.
I do. I love working with him. He's amazing.
I was waiting for that.
That's a callback. That's what we call a callback.
All right.
Hello. Are you a Hufflepuff?
I am a Hufflepuff.
I mixed up the colors.
That's why. And proud. She's like, and proud of it. Yes.
I am. I really am.
Nice. You good.
Great. So
Good.
my sister, the one waving over there,
Hello.
she is like your biggest fan ever. She
Hi.
loves Eric.
Oh,
Get up here, Katie.
I see her. It's okay. I see her.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, you got to come to his table. He'll give you a hug.
Yeah, will. It's true.
He will. I'll make him do it.
All right, if you'll give her a hug, will you give my baby sister a fist bump?
Of course.
Yes, awesome. I think she's actually gonna get her.
Oh, you got a tiny little.
Oh yeah, it's like mine.
She
It's
kept
like
running
mine.
away.
Why
That's
don't I
was-
can't see if it's a boy or girl? It's a girl. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Evelyn.
I don't have my glasses on.
Yeah. Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. So that's a child.
Yes.
I've read about them. I've read
Yes,
about them.
that's a-
Interesting.
that's a-
Interesting.
that
It's like
is a
just a
child.
smaller person.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm only like 15 and a half, so I guess technically you could call me a child too.
Well, sure. Yeah, of course.
I'm
But
just
that's
kind of, like,
that's a real
trying to
child.
honest. Yeah, that's
I
a
hear
real
they
child.
take a lot of time and sleep from you.
So I've heard.
Yes,
I
me
haven't
too.
actually-
Again, I just heard it on the internet. So
I haven't actually been woken up by her yet, which I guess is a good thing.
That's good. How many are you in the family?
5.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there's my mom, my baby sister, my other sister, And then I guess my stepdad ran away. I'm sorry, my English is not working because I'm like.
Your stepdad is probably, down there waiting for Ron Perlman, who's gone, unfortunately, or something like that.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Pauly Shore, somebody else.
I'm just here. I'm like really, really nervous right now.
Are you?
Just do it. Do it.
So my question is, how do you deal with this? How do you deal with so many freaking people? How do you deal with the nervousness of being up here and talking to all these people?
I just do it anyway. See? She's crying because the fist bump was so awesome.
He makes my kid upset
that she
too.
knows even at that age, it's downhill from here, unfortunately. It's
yeah,
a shame.
I can't
She's
argue
like,
with
I'm
that.
7 months old and I've peaked. Yeah.
Actually, she's a little over a year.
No, it's I don't know for anybody who knows out there, but when I was 23, I got hit with a pretty serious anxiety disorder. So I deal with anxiety on a daily basis. So it's one of those things where I've twisted it around in my life to where I almost don't know what I would do without anxiety. Like if I woke up one morning, it would be gone. I would go, well, I don't even know. Like almost that would even make me anxious. It's like, because I'm anxious all the time. You know how Bruce Banner, he turns to him at the end, he goes, you want to know my secret? I'm always angry. That's how he does.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah.
secret. I'm always anxious. It's just, I just am. So I'm going to be nervous. I'm going to be anxious. And I want to do it anyway because I would then miss this opportunity to talk to everybody. I would, I'd miss the opportunity to come to conventions. I would miss the opportunity to fly places. I hate flying, but I have to do it. It's like it's part of my job. So I am nervous and I do it anyway. I have a big sign on my my refrigerator that I read every single day. It's a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. It says, it's amazing. It says, do one thing every day that scares you. And so I do that every day. It's like, oh God, oh man, oh I'm gonna have an anxiety attack. Okay, well I'm gonna. I mean, I know I'm gonna have an anxiety attack. I had one right before we walked out.
Oh God,
I didn't know that.
No,
I was
nobody
with
does.
you.
Nobody does. I've
Can
had
you
it.
like signal me and I'll just give you a hug?
I don't need it. It's very sweet, but I'm so used to it. It's just such a part of my life that they happen all the time. I'll have 10 a day. It's just, we'd be hugging all the time.
All right. Well, I don't mind.
No, it's one of those things where I came to a realization when I was about 30. Because there was a time where it cost me my on-camera career. I was on camera for a long time, and thank God I had voiceover so I could still act. And then I remember I woke up one day and I went, I can't do this anymore. I can't not live my life because I have this small little tick in my fight or flight response, which is all it is. It's all anxiety is you got the tiny little tick in your brain. And it's like, well, this can rule me or I can rule it. So that's what happened. I woke up one day and went, I'm doing it anyway. And if I have to say to people now, can you give me a second? I'm having an anxiety attack. If I'm with 5 people, 3 of them go, oh, I deal with anxiety too. Like it's so common that the second you start talking about it, it gets better. So that's the best advice you can give anybody with anxiety is just talk about it. Tell people, like, give me 1 second. I'm freaking out a little bit. Give me 1 quick second.
Yeah.
And then you're fine. So yeah, really important. But do it anyway. Go out there and do it anyway.
You did. You did a great job.
Thank
That's
you.
why I yelled that. I didn't mean to.
I know you're fine.
Be rude.
See, now I feel better just because talking.
Exactly,
with you about it,
and then
like
now you're
hearing
not as
you-
nervous anymore.
Exactly, it's like my heart was pounding and now it's not. and I'm
That's
good.
exactly the way
Thank
it
you
is
so
because
much.
suffering alone is way worse than going, come on, this is what I'm dealing with. And you're right, it goes away. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
so much.
I just want to start by saying my mom and sister paid me off to tell you that they had a crush on you ever since Boys Meets World.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How much did you make?
$3. But
Hey, I mean.
Nice.
Money's money. No, I wanted to ask because of your time being on Critical Role with Matt Mercer, is he really that sweet or is he secretly evil?
I don't think he's secretly evil. He's just evil. But he's evil because he's that sweet. He's that nice a guy. There's nothing there. Matt Mercer on Critical Role and Matt Mercer off Critical Role are exactly the same person. They're that smart. They're that encyclopedic when it comes to the rules, the thing. I mean, everyone's like, how do you have that knowledge at your fingertips? He has that knowledge at his fingertips. He's that guy. But it is kind of a letdown for every other DM I've had where they're like, hey, I'm your DM. Who was your first DM? Matt Mercer. Oh. Okay. So home games are fun, but Brian Foster's one of my DMs now. So, yeah, no, he's not secretly evil. He's actually evil. Oh, yeah. It's what a community to be involved in, though. It's great.
And I have one more. Did you know about the Vax and Keyleth relationship before going into the episode, or did you just wing it and kiss her just to see what Liam would do?
Well, I had no idea that they had started that first. I just knew that I wanted Cash at the end. He'd been such a jerk through the entire time that I wanted to punctuate it with the kiss. So that was fun. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, we have about 2 minutes left, so if we can try to get through everybody else in 2 minutes.
I can do that.
No two-parter questions.
Unless they're
Okay.
they're
And
quick
it's actually
two-parter.
for Christy. if
Yes. Question for
So-
Christy.
Thanks, girl.
I got to see you as Belle in Beauty and the Beast on
You
Broadway. Yeah, it
Cool,
was amazing.
thank you.
So I wanted to know if you had any other dream roles you'd like to play on Broadway.
Oh, goodness.
Great.
Actually, some people don't know I did Avenue Q on Broadway as well, which I was a puppeteer.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So there was a puppet in our green room. I don't know who that was, but it was a guest, and he has a puppet.
Oh, really?
And I was totally judging his puppeteer work. I'm like, I was on Broadway and puppeteering.
Wow. I judge you, puppeteer.
Judge you. Your eyes aren't looking. But that was a lot of fun. Avenue Q, I think, was one of my favorite roles. I played two parts, and I like challenging myself on stage. I think that's a lot of fun. Belle was certainly challenging, and so I appreciate your support on that. That was a lot of work.
It was amazing.
It was a lot. Doing live theater will burn you out real quick doing 8 shows a week. Have you ever thought about do you do
I started
theater?
on stage.
Okay.
The very first play I ever did was A Doll's House at the Hartford Stage.
Oh, okay.
I was 10 years old, and Mary McDonnell, who's here right now, played my mom. Mary
I saw a
McDonnell from
throwback
Battlestar
photo.
Galactica.
Didn't you post a throwback photo or something?
I did.
of
That
you?
was 32 years ago.
It's nuts.
Yeah, crazy.
That's nuts. So I feel like I've been so blessed with the roles that I've been able to take. If I were to go back to theater, I would want to do something that would be Tony eligible. I don't particularly, although, Waitress is about to close, and that would be a great part, but.
Wait, what is Tony eligible? Like what?
Like if you would have to originate a part on the Broadway stage.
So you couldn't have won for Belle?
No, that was what they call stunt casting, where they take a celebrity because their ticket sales are going low, and they throw you in, and they hope it works.
Oh, really?
Yeah, stunt casting. So I don't want to be stunt casting anymore. I want to create a character.
So only the
for
first
Broadway.
time that somebody's done that. So
Yep.
the next
The
person who comes in who
original-
plays Hamilton can't win a Tony
No,
for playing Hamilton.
that's- yeah,
It
not the
can
way
just
it
be Lin-Manuel.
Only that. That's why it's so prestigious.
I get you.
Yeah, so that would be great. So that's.
You know,
how I would-
Tonys are filled with chocolate.
Tonys?
The Tony Awards.
They
when
are?
you actually break them open, that's just foil.
Really?
They're all chocolate. Yeah.
Man, they need to up their
A lot of people
their
don't know that.
budget.
A lot of people don't know that.
Thanks, sweetheart. Thank
you. All right, unfortunately, I think we'll have to make this one the last question.
All right, last question.
No.
I'm sorry.
Well, we're at our tables, so you guys can come see us and ask us questions.
Quick question for both of y'all because it's about the YouTube channel. After you made the nacho, did you ever go back and finish cleaning up the dishes?
No.
Yes!
Of course not. Of course not. But that nacho was good.
It was really good.
It was good. I was like, oh, we're going to make the nacho. That's
You
going to
left
be
me
fun.
with all
but
those dishes, man.
It's not going to taste that great. It was amazing. But at the end of the day, it's a giant burrito with nachos in it. Like,
and queso.
how can that not be good?
I know.
It's like wrapping a hot dog with pizza. It's like, of course, that's an idea. Love that. It's brilliant.
I think they have that at Costco.
I'm on my way. Thank you.
It was a blast. Thank you for
Thanks,
watching.
everybody.
And thank you
Have
for coming.
fun. Don't forget, you can go visit Will and Christy at their table. Ask them a question if you want to. Get an autograph. Get
Thank
a
you.
picture. Everybody, once again, Will Friedle and Christy Carlson Romano.
Bye, everybody.